I call to order the Riverview Community School District Board of Education regular meeting for September 26, 2023. Secretary Walker, roll call, please.
President Bohr,
Here.
Vice President Dominski.
Here.
Secretary Walker here. Treasurer Davis.
Here.
Trustee Meeks.
Here.
Trustee Toth.
Here.
Trustee O'Brien is excused.
Next, we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, we're going to welcome our new staff.
We all going?
Good evening. We have three new staff members that we'd like to introduce tonight. HR Director Ekman will start the process. Come up, shake our hands, and welcome when she calls you.
Good evening. Our first professional staff member is Megan Jones. She is a full-time social worker at Huntington Elementary. Megan received a Bachelor of Science from Bowling Green, Ohio, followed by a Master's of Social Work from the University of Toledo, Ohio. Megan began her social work career in a clinical hospital setting and moved into the education setting approximately 6 years ago. The Huntington staff is very excited for Megan to bring her social work experience to help support their building. Elizabeth Taylor is our next addition. She's a special education teacher at Riverview Community High School. She received a bachelor's degree in special education from Central Michigan University, followed by a master's in education from Defiance College. Beth has spent her career at Bedford Schools, where she most recently was the coordinator of their virtual academy. The special education team at the high school is very excited to bring Beth to their team. Jamie Bush is the third addition to our staff tonight. She is the most recent addition to Forest. She will be joining the Forest team as the full-time building social worker. Jamie holds a bachelor's in social work from Eastern Michigan University, where she has recently also completed her master's in social work. Jamie spent time as an intern working at Beacon Day Treatment Center in Southgate and also completed an internship here in Riverview. Jamie brings experience working in multiple social service agencies where she provided social work support and case management. We're looking forward to Jamie bringing her services here to Riverview.
Again, to reiterate what Ms. Ekman said, welcome aboard. We're happy to have you on our pirate team.
Next, we'll move on to guest and visitor comments for the 2-minute session. The purpose of the public participation portion of the meeting is to provide an opportunity for the citizens to share their thoughts with the board. Personal concerns are best handled through proper channels. Questions requiring investigation will be referred to the superintendent for consideration. Are there any residents with guest and visitor comments for the 2-minute session? Seeing none, we'll move on to item A53, acceptance of agenda. Do I have a motion?
President Bohr,
Vice President Dominski?
be it resolved, the Riverview Board of Education accepts the agenda for the September 26, 2023 meeting.
Motion by Vice President Dominski. Is there support?
Support.
Supported by Treasurer Davis. Any discussion? Hearing none. Secretary Walker, roll call, please.
President Bohr,
Yes.
Vice President Dominski?
Yes.
Secretary Walker, yes. Treasurer Davis?
Yes.
Trustee Meeks?
Yes.
Trustee Toth?
Yes.
Next, we'll move on to item A54, consent grouping, which involves accept the minutes of the August 21st, 2023 study session, accept the minutes of the August 22nd, 2023 regular meeting, approve the check registers, approve purchase card expense reports, approve certified personnel and renewal contracts, approve the plan for 15-day virtual learning, and approve designation for school safety liaisons and emergency contacts for OK to Say, and also approve continuity of learning plan. I will make the motion. Be it resolved, the Riverview Board of Education accept the minutes of the August 21st, 2023 study session, the minutes of the August 22nd, 2023 regular meeting, approve the check registers and purchase card expense reports, approve the certified personnel and renewal contracts, approve the plan for the 15-day virtual learning, approve the designations of school safety liaisons and emergency contacts for OK to Say, and approve the continuity of learning plan, all contained in the consent grouping. Do I have support?
Support.
Supported by Trustee Meeks. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Secretary Walker, roll call, please.
Secretary Walker, yes. Treasurer Davis?
Yes.
Trustee Toth?
Yes.
President Bohr?
Yes.
Vice President Dominski?
Yes.
Trustee Meeks?
Yes.
Next, we'll go to board updates. Superintendent Hatzel, administrative comments, legislative reports.
Yes, we have an update on the November election. The Board of Education has approved placing a sinking fund renewal on the November 7th ballot. The renewal is not an increase and will finance ongoing maintenance, improvements, updates, and repairs for our school facilities. This is not a new tax, and we also have a city election that coincides with this, so we encourage you to get out and vote. We also would like to give a big thank you to the Kiwanis Club of Riverview, who once again has donated dictionaries to every single third grade student this month. It's a great contribution from this civic group, and we can't appreciate enough for their leadership and continued support of the Riverview schools. It's a great community school conjunction, so thank you. Also, before our next meeting, there will be parent-teacher conferences on the horizon, so we encourage this opportunity for parents to meet with your children's instructors and further strengthening our partnership and learning. Also, on the fun side of things, I've already got quite a few invites to fall activities and Halloween events, so most of them are free that have come across my desk, so get out and enjoy some treats and some family time with your students and our wonderful staff. Finally, next week is a big week for us in Riverview as we celebrate homecoming. I'll stop a little short because I don't want to steal Kira's thunder. And then finally, on Saturday, I was able to get out to the city's 100th anniversary celebration of the charter of the city, and I want to also commend the civic leaders who supported that event to celebrate a piece of Riverview history. And in conjunction with that, the Homecoming Committee has elected and nominated and invited Mr. Jerry Perry, the known Riverview historian, to be the Grand Marshal of the parade next week. So thanks to the city for their contribution with that.
Next, we'll have our thank you, Superintendent Hatzel. Next, we'll have our RCHS student liaison, Kira Wood.
At RCHS, we were really excited for school to start back up. Some fun September events that took place was 9th grade orientation. Connection Club made sure everyone felt welcomed and got assigned to a group to show the kids around, and the members also stayed after to put welcome back notes on every student's locker. On September 20th, we had a senior sunrise. Kids showed up at 6:30 a.m., where they were then allowed to choose a beverage and donut of their choice. We concluded this meeting about our senior cap and gowns. So far, the school year has been off to a good start. I would say that we are more than settled into this school year, and it's exciting that new freshmen have really branched out and made sure to join some type of sport or club that RCHS promotes. Now on to upcoming events throughout October. We first have the Powder Puff game, which is this Sunday, the 1st. It runs from 3 to 6 p.m. and is sponsored by the Parent Club. After that, starting Monday, October 2nd, we have our Homecoming Spirit Days that run through the 6th. Monday is Pajama Day. Tuesday is Ken vs. Barbie Day. Wednesday is Adam Sandler Day. Thursday is Class Color Day. And Friday is, of course, Maroon and Gold. In the middle of the week, on the 4th, we have our annual Homecoming Bonfire, where donuts and cider will be provided. Friday the 6th is game day against Milan, and we will also have a homecoming assembly earlier in the school day. To wrap out the week, we have the homecoming dance on October 7th, and the following week, there is a parent club meeting at 4 in the RCHS library on the 12th. On the 13th is the annual trunk or treat that Connection Club runs from 5 to 6 p.m., and on the 18th, juniors take the PSAT, and lastly, on the 19th, there is a parent-teacher conference from 5 to 7 p.m.
Oh, thank you, Kara. I just want to circle back to the sinking fund millage too. I know Superintendent Hatzel and our staff are working on a very compact two-page flyer. I believe we're looking to get it in the Riverview Register for October, and the legal notice will be in the News Herald starting tomorrow. I know some folks that have received their absentee ballots just today, and I believe we can put this on our district website too, so that the information is out there for the folks to inform themselves. Okay. Next, we'll move on to new business. Item A55, a second reading of the Board of Education policy amendments, addition, and updates. Superintendent Hatzel, background, please.
At the August 22nd, 2023 regular meeting of the Board of Education, reviewed and accepted for the purpose of a first reading the Board of Education bylaws and policies, including amendments, additions, and updates proposed by Miller Johnson. It is recommended the Board waive the third reading and move to formal adoption. It is the recommendation of the Superintendent and the Director of Business and Finance that the stated Board of Education bylaws and policies, including amendments, additions, and updates, be adopted by the Board of Education effective immediately.
Thank you, Superintendent Hatzel. Do I have a motion?
President Bohr,
Trustee Toth?
be it resolved that the Riverview Board of Education waives the third reading and immediately adopts the Board of Education bylaws and policies, including amendments, additions, and updates as proposed by Miller Johnson in July of 2023.
Motion by Trustee Toth. Any discussion? Hearing none. Secretary Walker?
Support.
Oh, right. Oh, sorry. Support. I need support. Vice President Dubinsky, thank you. Hearing any discussion? Hearing none. Secretary Walker, roll call, please.
President Bohr,
Yes.
Trustee Meeks.
Yes.
Secretary Walker, yes. Trustee Toth.
Yes.
Treasurer Davis.
Yes.
Vice President Dominski.
Yes.
Item A56, award copier purchase to Applied Innovation. Superintendent Hatzel, background, please.
Student printing has become problematic for teachers and unresolvable by technology since desktop printers are not manageable through our print software. The operations department would benefit from an upgraded copier allowing for larger paper sizes, and Memorial Elementary requires a more efficient device since their current machine has continuous issues. It is the recommendation of the superintendent, the technology coordinator, and the director of business and finance that the purchase of 3 new copiers be awarded to Applied Innovations.
Thank you, Superintendent Hatzel. Do I have a motion?
President Bohr,
Trustee Meeks?
be it resolved, the Riverview Board of Education awards the purchase of 3 copiers from Applied Innovations for an amount not to exceed $28,048.
Motion by Trustee Meeks. Do we have support?
Support.
Supported by Treasurer Davis. Any discussion? Hearing none. Secretary Walker, roll call, please.
Treasurer Davis.
Yes.
President Bohr,
Yes.
Trustee Meeks.
Yes.
Vice President Dominski.
Yes.
Trustee Toth.
Yes.
Secretary Walker, yes.
Moving on to item A57, MASB Leadership Conference Delegate Designation. Superintendent Hatzel, background, please.
Every year, the Michigan Association of School Boards has their leadership conference. Delegates from throughout Michigan attend the conference to represent their respective school boards. This year, the MASB Leadership Conference will be in Lansing from November 9th through 12th, 2023. The schedule is attached. It is the recommendation of the superintendent and members of the Board of Education that the board approves the designation of President Timothy Bohr as delegate to represent the Riverview Board of Education at the annual leadership conference.
Thank you, Superintendent Hatzel. Do I have a motion?
President Bohr,
Secretary Walker.
be it resolved, the Riverview Board of Education approve the designation of President Bohr as the MASB Leadership Conference delegate.
Motion by Secretary Walker. Do we have support?
Support.
Supported by Vice President Dominski. Any discussion? Hearing none, Secretary Walker, roll call, please.
President Bohr,
Yes.
Vice President Dominski.
Yes.
Secretary Walker, yes. Treasurer Davis.
Yes.
Trustee Meeks.
Yes.
Trustee Toth.
Yes.
Next, we'll move on to guest and visitor comments for the 5-minute session. The purpose of the public participation portion of the meeting is to provide an opportunity for the citizens to share their thoughts with the board. Personal concerns are best handled through proper channels. Questions requiring investigation will be referred to the superintendent for consideration. Any guests here with comments for the 5-minute session?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ed Moss, and I'm a Riverview resident. It's really something you're talking about, homecoming and all that already. I was thinking about that, and I guess this would be about the time for it. Next thing you know, you're going to end up talking about graduation for sure. Superintendent Hansel kind of touched upon a lot of things I was going to say. However, one thing I will say is I want to welcome Megan, Jamie, and Elizabeth to the staff, as well as all the staff that was introduced at last month's meeting. I don't think I could have put it any better than you did, President Bohr, and I'm not even going to try doing that. But it's really exciting. Last year was, as far as I'm concerned, a great year for this school, and hopefully school year this year will be even better, for sure. I, too, attended the 100th anniversary celebration. I saw you there, Superintendent Hansel and Trustee Meeks. Saw you right in front of me when Bob Guiney was speaking and all the awards were being awarded. The big thrill for me, though, was getting to meet Gerald Perry. He was number one on my list of all the Riverview residents, I would say, that I've not met, and getting a copy of his book was just absolutely terrific, because that saved me the trouble of having to find it, because I was pretty much going to buy it one of these years anyway. One of the things I would say is, for anybody who hasn't read it, that's over about the age of 13 or 14, I really would say this is just about required reading, and if at all possible, if it could be introduced, I don't think you could make a class out of it, but somehow introduced to the curriculum, extra credit assignment, something like that, that would be great. One thing I want to address, however, with all this good news is something that happened the last time I was here in July, which I'm sure all of you who were here were familiar with, but the public may not be familiar with this, so I'll save this more for their benefit. I had shown up early for the school board meeting, as I usually do, and while I believe all of you were in a study session, for reasons that are unknown to me and probably will always be, Lieutenant Bemis of the police department decided to show up and literally verbally stopped me before I used the facilities and asked me what I was doing here. Now, being an officer of 28 years, I am shocked he did not know that there was a school board meeting on that evening until I told him this. Furthermore, for him to walk up and hit me in the stomach with what felt to me to be a metal clipboard, the only thing I can infer from that is, considering it was right before the primary, I believe this was some tactic by Mayor Swift in that to try to humiliate, embarrass, and malign me. But the thing is when I have something to say, Mayor Swift's not going to stop me easily, and nobody's going to stop me from helping this city and the like. So if he wants to pull the tactics, fine. But as far as I'm concerned, people who are here are the ones that care. The ones who are speaking are the ones who care more. And I haven't seen him here at any of the board meetings I've been to. So I'll let his actions speak for himself on that, but he won't stop me easily, and I will not be deterred from that. With that having been said, to bring this back around to a positive note, I'm looking forward to this being a much better school year, for sure, than even last year. I've already started following the sports a lot more closely than I did last year with all the excellence that occurred in the school district, and I will be here when I have something to say each and every time. So don't be deterred by our mayor's action. And the one thing I will also say is, and I was going to mention this since I was going to be at next month's meeting, but we do have an important meeting coming up, and not just because of this, or not meeting, election coming up, not just because of the sinking fund, but we have the mayoral race, and we also have 6 council members, or 6 people vying for the 3 council seats. So I didn't want to forget about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moss. Any other guest or visitor comments?
Hi, everyone. Great to see you. Okay, I just came here just to get an idea of if there's anything important I need to see that's going on. And I noticed that you approved the contingency plan for 15-day virtual learning. And I don't know if this is where I can ask you questions or where I can find out more information about what exactly that is. Like if you have some information that made you plan for that, or if that's just something you were going to do anyway, how much information parents can have about that, where that information is coming from. Yeah.
Yeah, I can answer quickly. It's a work in progress in the sense that the state just approved that in the potential we reach our maximum snow day or emergency day limit, we could use that. Right now in the current, before this law was enacted, if we went over those days, we lost funding from the state. So it's only in case of emergency that we have to have a plan if we were to exceed those days. So hopefully we never have to use it.
Does that have anything to do with the virtual learning? Does that have anything to do with if we were to have a shutdown? Is it related to that at all?
We've only had that once, and that was all excused by that was mandated by the state, so I don't think it would.
But you don't have any new information from the state that's making you question
This is
whether
just,
there's going to be a shutdown?
just in case we were to go over snow days. A lot of districts lost power or certain things were out of control.
Okay.
In the past, this district's penalized for not having school in a certain number of hours, so this is an alternative, but like I said, we hope we never have to use it.
Okay, thank you. I just like to know as soon as I can ahead of time so I can plan for it and everything.
No impending.
Okay, thank you.
Last year was kind of unique too. Not only snow days, but we had these ice storms, which brought down many trees and tree limbs and wires, and then high winds. It was a really unique year we had last year, and Memorial was really affected by this. So I appreciate the state giving us this option, to districts. Thank you, Superintendent Hatzel. Any other guest and visitor comments?
So I had one comment about, on the list, the consent grouping of 7E, the approved certified personnel and renewal contracts of special ed, social workers, culinary instructor, transportation supervisor, and dispatcher and IT. I kind of don't know where we stand on that. I thought maybe that would have been brought up tonight.
Can you state your name and address for the record?
My name is Derek Campbell. I work for Riverview Schools.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the contracts were approved. That's where they stand.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, we just do it in that consent, so we don't have each individual one. So, yes, those were approved, so I think you're good.
Thank you.
Next, any other guest and visitor comments? Okay. Seeing none, we will go to item 11, items for discussion presented by board members concerning which no action can be taken.
President Boer,
Trustee Toth.
I'd like to thank everyone who came out last night to update us on the strategic plan. I know we're only a few weeks into school and it's been a very busy month, but it was very nice for them to all take time out of their busy schedules to come talk to us, because it's very important to us as a board and us as a district to make sure that we're staying on track with our plan. So I just want to say thank you to everyone.
Thank you, Trustee Toth. Any other board member comments? I'd just like to wish to thank Superintendent Hatzel and our staff and administration, the facilities people, our volunteer groups, and the students and families for all the hard work, the energy, and activity that's gone into the successful launch of our academic year. Maroon and gold are our district colors. They're also the colors of the vibrant fall season, which gives us some energy at this time of year. And this month, we've seen a great launch, including our academic programs, our fall athletic seasons, new student leadership opportunities, clubs, marching bands, volunteer support organizations, and most importantly, our teachers have returned, and they are our great launch includes the teachers creating a welcoming, nurturing learning environment, which instills a sense of belonging for all of our kids this year, throughout the year, and every year. And I just want to thank them too. This vibrant display of pirate pride truly makes our school district the shining center of our community. Next, we'll move on to future business. We will have a study session, and it will be held Monday, October 24th, 2023, at 6:30 at RCHS. And our regular meeting for October will be on Tuesday, the 25th, at 7 p.m. in the City Hall Council Chambers. Next, I'll need a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Motion by Vice President Dominski. Do I have support?
Support.
Supported by Trustee Toth. Any discussion? Hearing none. Secretary Walker, roll call, please.
President Bohr,
Yes.
Vice President Dominski.
Yes.
Secretary Walker, yes. Treasurer Davis.
Yes.
Trustee Meeks.
Yes.
Trustee Toth.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. Meeting adjourned at 7:28.